Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to My Money, My Purpose. I'm Stephanie, I'm the spender. And if you're new to this channel, we talk about our financial journeys. We incorporate wellness and mindset in building our wealth. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to take you along with us. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I'm sure has plagued all of us at some point in our lives. I'm talking about overdraft charges and late fees. Two things that incentivize people to pay your bills on time, as well as keeping at least a little bit of money in your bank account. I find it ironic that these fees are directed towards people that are struggling financially. I want to say more often than not, if someone is going to pay, let's say, a credit card bill or a utility bill late, it's probably not for sport.
A rebel.
You know what I mean? It's probably because they're struggling financially and they don't have the money in the bank at that point. So I've always found it to be very discouraging when it's for the people who don't have the money. Similarly to overdraft charges, right? If your bank account goes negative and you owe the bank, they're going to charge you a fee. They're basically charging you for not having money.
Why is it that the rich seem to grow richer over time while the poor remain poor or even become poorer?
I have just sort of accepted that, like, okay, well, that's just going to happen. I can't help it. I don't have the money in the bank. I don't know what to tell you. I have these pending charges. You know, I'm just sort of coming to this acceptance where I'm just going to eat that money. But the thing that really falls off of my radar is how much money you're actually losing every time they charge $10. And sometimes, depending on the amount, if it's a really significant amount, like maybe between $500 and $1,000, they'll charge $20 of an overdraft charge. And so for me, $10 isn't a lot of money, but when they charge you $10 one time, $10 two times, $10 three times, $10 four times, that's $40. Depending on how often this is occurring, you really are losing a lot of money in the long run. But I feel like as human beings, especially because we're taught a lot of the times to be so in the moment, we don't really think about how much money we're losing. And if you're in a financial situation where you're always behind the curve and you're always trying to catch up, it's like, oh, well, okay, well, that $10, I'll make that up later, but I just can't help it right now. So that's a situation that I had been in for a pretty long time, and it's not a comfy place to be in. Late fees. Another thing that incentivizes people to pay their bills on time. Well, again, I don't think people pay things late because they think it's fun or they're trying to be rebellious. I think people genuinely go through hard times and they don't have the money to pay it. For me personally, late fees are a lot scarier than the overdraft charges because late fees are a lot more money. I focus a lot less on the overdraft charge because it's only $10 most of the time versus the $40 late fee from my Discover credit card. Well, if you break it down, if I have all these pending charges and my bank is charging me $10 per payout, and my bank account keeps getting more and more in the negative, and I keep owing the bank, one, two, three, four, that's $40. $40 is what I was worried about of my late fee. That's the same. So one isn't really better than the other. It's still creating more debt. And really, sometimes with the overdraft charges, it is causing you to lose more money. So in my first apartment, they had it to where they'll take the max amount that you set. So if your rent was $1,200 and you set the max limit at 1,200, when rent is due, they would take the 1,200. Well, unfortunately, it wouldn't charge for the utility because you didn't include that in your max amount. So you'll have late fees on the utilities, but your rent would be paid. Well, in my current apartment, right, it's the same portal. So in my mind, I'm thinking that it's supposed to work the same, but it didn't. So the first month that I was in the apartment, I had set my limit to I think I set my limit to 1,400 because I completely forgot about including the utility portion of it. But instead of them charging the max for the rent, it didn't charge anything at all because it didn't include the full amount. I kept looking. I think I kept looking a week later to see if the deposit was taken, and it wasn't taken. And I went on my rent portal and I saw that I was charged a $139 late fee. Oh my gosh, I was like, no, 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 no. I paid my rent. And so then they had to explain to me how this system worked. And I was about to fight so hard for that late fee to be waived. And anyhow, they did waive the late fee. I'm just going based off of my past experience, right? I just find it so funny that depending on the monetary value of the late fee is going to determine how much we fight to get that waived versus if we find the value of an overdraft charge or late fee somewhat reasonable, we're like, okay, it's just fine. When in reality, both ways you're losing money. Period.
Period.
I have to change my mindset as to what I value most. And truthfully, I value not losing money. I could be in a situation where I'm not making any money at all, but at least I'm not losing money. I've had in my mind for a pretty long time that it's okay to lose money because in a very short amount of time, that'll just be replenished. Problem is that whether it's replenished or not doesn't take away from the fact that you still lost that money. Because obviously, when your bank account gets replenished, it's still 10, 20, $50 shorter than it would have been if you didn't lose that money in the first place. I know this probably sounds obvious to a lot of people, but I genuinely thought this way. Like, money is just a thing that comes and goes, and it's okay. But the older that I get and the more I realize the value of money and how scarce it can be, like, I mean, granted, money does come and go, but the frequency at which it comes back to you, the level of debt it can create when it does go, I have realized that money is not just something that comes and goes the way that I used to. Sometimes it's okay to be young and frivolous. Sometimes it's okay to treat your money as such. But I think when it starts to really get in the way of your life, that's when you really need to start making mindset changes. But all this to say, I used to be very entitled
No, I need to have the best of everything.
in thinking that I'm just one person, they'll get their money. It's not like they're going to be broke if I don't pay something on time. I think there's just been so many things that have happened to remove the rose-colored glasses that I had on, where I used to really believe that companies cared about you. So even though this mindset is something that I'm very much struggling to change, I know that I actively have to change that mindset. I will have too much of an existential crisis if I think about it too hard. Us human beings are the customers or consumers or clients to these big businesses, and it really feels heartbreaking to me that businesses don't care about that, because I have realized far too many times that you're just going to lose if you try to fight it, and they will charge you the late fee and you will have to pay it because you're not going to win every battle. You aren't going to change a property management company's mind about increasing your rent. Trust me, I tried. I tried so hard. But here's the thing, I'm not the only one. That literally, I had a person, she was from the corporate office, telling me that if I moved out, they could just fill my spot.
How rude!
So they don't care about you. They care about the numbers and they care about the units they can fill. Period. It is a business. If you don't like something, move on. Really, really hate having to conform to society. My mindset really needs to change on this front because I have lost so much money. Let's be mindful and purposeful about where our money is going, and let's take the first initiative to ensuring that we're not losing any more money unnecessarily. The second takeaway is to look at big businesses with more optimism and less pessimism, because I find that when our mindsets are very negative, it just reproduces in all sorts of more negative ways. It may not be something you agree with, but at least your energy is reproducing better habits, better mindset with other things, and contributing to your overall wellness. The third takeaway that I have for this conversation is to stop putting moral value on different monetary values. So, just because an overdraft fee is $10 doesn't mean that it's any more or less detrimental than the $40 late fee that your credit card is charging. But that $10 one off is multiplying and creating more money that you're losing in the long run. So, I highly encourage anybody who might have similar mindsets as me to maybe make some internal changes, because ultimately, this is what's going to make our financial health much healthier.
We love that for you.
I would love to hear your opinions, so please drop a comment in the comment section down below. And if you like conversations like these, please subscribe to our channel, like this video if you liked the video, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.